Well, the inheritance tax on farms and indeed on businesses is very bad economically because it means that businesses and farms will have to spend money not on investing, not on employing, not on building their business, but on tax. And this has a terrible consequence on long-term economic growth because economic growth tends to come from smaller businesses, which are very often family businesses. Well, the government just doesn't know what it's doing. The hokey-cokey of this budget, one moment they're doing one thing, 1 minute they're doing the next, then the whole budget gets leaked by the utterly incompetent ABR. It's utter chaos, it's mismanagement, it's incompetence.
It's a massive attack on farmers. It's a deliberate manufactured excuse for a land grab. They want to remove all of the land from the farmers in order to bring in solar farms and take away the farmers' land. This is nothing but a land grab, a deliberate situation to impose more and more control on the people and make us reliant on their food sources. The farmers feed us. The farmers produce high quality organic produce for the nation. This is the backbone of life. This is the backbone of this country. The government is clearly not on the side of the people if they're attacking the backbone and the farmers who feed the nation.
Well, we came down to listen to the budget and see if there was any changes to the their plans for APR and BPR, which are obviously affecting agricultural and all businesses, in fact. The figures that came out from the government only a few weeks ago said that farms on average are making a minus 0.8% profit, yet somehow Rachel Reeves, our mathematician, thinks that farms can afford to pay 2% per year over 10 years. We've already lost over 6,000 farms this year, and it's not affordable. People, who is going to pass on their farms to their children with crippling debt, from before they even start? It's absolutely ridiculous. They will, it might last one generation, but it won't be able to be sustained over 2 generations, so it has to be reversed.
What brought me down here today, I wanted to be with the rest of my farming community here to hear the budget and to see if they would mention us. The little that was said about farming and food production and food security says it all, really.
I'm here to stand with our farmers, and I think it's been reiterated a lot today. It's not just about the farmers, it's also about the public. So it's about saying that without our farmers, we're not going to have food on our plate. We're not going to be able to feed one another. And I don't want to be relying on foreign imports, and I don't want farms and local and small family farms, decentralised environments, the heart of what our country once was, to be taken over by corporate giants, to put massive solar panel farms in and be bought up by the likes of BlackRock. It's concerning enough that in America, Bill Gates, owns more farmland than anyone else. You've got to ask yourself, well, why is that? What is the motivation? It was laughable what we were listening to. And what was also interesting is when it came to discussing the farms and discussing one of the most outrageous things within the budget, it sort of slipped it in. We won't talk about that too much. I wonder why that is, because you know how outrageous it is. And the Met Police yesterday turned around to the farmers that have been travelling into London for the past even few days and said, oh no, you can't bring your tractors into Whitehall. So not only that, it's now an attack on protesting, it's an attack on free speech. I've spoken to young farmers today and they just said, my dream from when I was, from when I can remember is over. Now I am going to lose my farm. Well, that's just terrible. And the irony is, Rachel Reeves talks about about how we need to back young people and put them into apprenticeships and jobs and everything. It's like, oh yeah, but it's all right to strip away their destiny of becoming a young farmer.
Over the last 3 days, we've been all around the country standing shoulder to shoulder with our farmers. And in fact, for the last year, since this announcement of the inheritance attack, we have been campaigning and organising all around towns, villages, cities, up and down the country, because the public support our farmers. Of course, it's an attack on the great British farmers, but it's also an attack on the public, because without our family farms, we have no food security. They're a part of our way of life and tradition and culture, and millions of the public support our farmers, and we're here to let this government know, and also to let MPs and the councillors know there's elections in May, and that we're going to keep fighting and standing together, the great British public, to make sure that we push back against this, because we need to make sure our farms stay with us.